He had expelled around 80,000 business owners and seized their property. So Amin walked up to an African stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bump, 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 get out of here or I'll kill you."
You're supposed to ask for grapes! No!
Then he waddled away.
Waddle.
June 23rd is my 5-year anniversary as a content creator and vtuber. And to celebrate, I'm launching 2 limited makeshift campaigns. After the Lucy plushie, we now finally have the Cypress plushie as well. I also have the Cypress and Lucy enamel pin set for you. Both campaigns start on June 23rd and will only be available for 3 weeks ending on July 15th. You better be fast. If you'd like the plushie or the pins or both, make sure to grab them while you can at makeshift.com/vtubercypress. Thank you all so much for supporting me over the years. None of this would be possible without any of you. Hi YouTube, welcome back in hell. My name is Cypress, and if you didn't know yet, I stream live on Twitch. So if you'd like to see me play games or hang out with me in my community, or if you'd like to say that you didn't know that I stream live on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/vtubercypress, and I hope to see you there sometime. Today we'll be watching a video by Chat History. This is the most evil people you've never heard of.
Evil people you've never heard of.
Silly.
They say that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. A quote that perfectly describes Vasily Blokhin, the deadliest executioner in known human history. Blokhin got his first taste for blood after joining the Red Army during the events of World War I. Over the years, he became the perfect soldier. One who is able to perform tasks effectively, efficiently, and without hesitation.
Well, why is that? Is it because the fact that he's been in the army for so long that it kinda, you know, that it does something to you?
This, of course, really accelerated Blokhin's military career, as in 1921, he was recruited into the Soviet secret police organization known as the NKVD. One bonus on his extensive resume was his innate ability to remain emotionally numb when carrying out acts of violence.
Found me, I'm a hard worker who loves to kill. I kill no problem. You want to kill? I kill. I kill all things. Kill spiders, kill flies, kill your uncle, kill many guys. Also poet. Hire Vasily for any need of wet work. It wet because blood. Lots of blood. Some say too much blood. Vasily say not enough blood. Trust in Vasily. Vasily trust in you? 1982 current soldier, Red Army soldier. They let me kill. If I could feel emotion, I would be happy. 1910 to 1918 bricklayer. I lay bricks. Many bricks. I lay bricks like bodies in a ditch. Many bodies, much more bricks though. Many bricks form walls, strong like Vasily. 1905 to 1910, sheep herder. I herd sheep with staff. I also herd sheep with ears. Is joke. Vasily also funny guy. Okay. Oh wait, I love this one. Education, 1905, 1918. University of life. No better education than from hardships of life. Yep. I agree. Skill summary, killing 78%, apathy 81%, killing with apathy 93%, cumulative percentages 47%.
Comparative to menial tasks like filing paperwork, we're having to put up with Deborah from HR's incessant complaints that your funny shirt just isn't work appropriate. Blokhin's unique skill, if you would call it that, quickly distinguished him amongst his peers. If you needed someone dead, Vasily was your guy. His work and unwavering loyalty continued to push him upward and onward. In just 6 years, he was assigned as head of a newly created branch of the NKVD by Mr. Supreme Soviet leader guy Joseph Stalin, a branch specifically designed for executions. With that, Blokhin had become one of Stalin's most trusted workers, executing low and high-profile targets without question.
Excellent work, Blokhin. That goes right up on fridge.
Crazy.
During his service, Blokhin had personally executed thousands of people, including high-ranking Soviet officials during the Great Purge, an internal mass execution of anyone remotely accused of opposing Stalin's rule. Blokhin himself had been spared from the
Who is Blokhin? The middle guy? I am guessing it's the middle guy. I don't know.
Purge due to his repeated proofs of loyalty to the Soviet cause. His magnum opus being his involvement in the Katyn massacre. Now, if you've never heard of the Katyn massacre, I wouldn't be surprised. When teaching about World War II, history classes tend to focus on German war atrocities and kind of skim over all of the other ones, especially the Soviet Union's. Despite the German invasion of Poland in 1939 and World War II officially starting, the Allied powers of Great Britain and France didn't really do much in retaliation.
Oh, Germany, you better leave Poland alone.
The big bad Soviet Union
Carry on. You
also
didn't even say anything.
invaded Poland just a few weeks later, capturing hundreds of thousands of Polish prisoners of war, many of which were sent to labor camps. But in the spring of 1940, around 22,000 prisoners consisting of Polish officers, engineers, teachers, and other civilians were systematically executed under Blokhin's supervision.
I don't understand how you can be an executioner. I mean, I do think, like, to be an executioner, you need to be someone that doesn't give a fuck at all, doesn't feel anything at all. Like, I don't know how else you would be able to do this.
Blokhin himself having personally executed over 7,000 people in just 28
Jesus.
days.
So is it because he just doesn't feel anything, or is it because he actually likes doing it?
About that for a second. 7,000 people in 28 days.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That is a lot.
That's 250 people a day. Now,
What?
Blokhin and his
and he did that?
men reportedly
Okay,
would work
and his man, but
10-hour
still.
days nonstop, so that's 25
No, that is, you actually need to be fucking crazy or something. I don't know, man.
people an hour, or one person every 2
What
to
the
3 minutes. Now, these weren't indirectly through ordering his men, but this was by his own hand. Blokhin had pretty much developed an assembly line of death so efficient it would make Henry Ford envious. Prisoners would be escorted into a soundproofed room against a sandbag-lined wall. Without a word, these prisoners' last sensation would be feeling the muzzle of a German pistol in the back of their neck before being brutally murdered. Wait, a German pistol? I hear you ask. Why would
I didn't really care about the pistol. I was more thinking about one guy doing all of this, man. I don't care about the freaking pistol at this point.
Soviets be using German pistols? 2 words. Plausible deniability. Think of it this way. If thousands of victims in mass graves happen to be found with German bullets lodged in their noggins, who do you think's gonna be blamed?
Oh, yeah, okay, smart.
Don't look at us. It was them.
Yeah, that's German bullet. It wasn't us.
Blokhin's massacre is regarded as the largest mass murder conducted by a single person in known human history,
my
even acknowledged by
gosh.
the coveted Guinness Book of World Records in 2010.
Why
Really
is
stretching
that
for
in the?
content
Why
there.
is it in that book? Why don't? Yeah, I get it. Do we really need it to be in the book?
It is believed that throughout his career, Blokhin's personal kill count had reached tens of thousands, but his spree would soon come to an end. After Stalin privately passed away in a puddle of piss in 1953, Blokhin was forced into retirement in disgrace. He was ostracized by the public and stripped of his military honors during the de-Stalinization of the Soviet Union. So, of course, he did what any Russian does when they're sad or happy or breathing. He consumed a lot of alcohol, a habit that eventually led to his death in 1955 at the age of 60. Well, dang, that's pretty evil. Sure hope nothing bad like that happens to me. Hey, it's ad time. Welcome to Cross
I love it when they do ads like
Us
that.
Out, the ultimate post-apocalyptic vehicle shooter experience you've dreamt about since you were a zesty little zygote. What do? Why, you build your own vehicular vessel of violence from the wheels up in fractions of an hour, using thousands of different parts and weapons. Then use that monstrosity to utterly decimate other makeshift creations in epic PvP and PvE warfare. With ranks to ascend and zones to defend, building a death machine's what I recommend. Rockets that fly, chainsaws that rip, you can even slap on some sweet art for the drip. There's plenty of parts for you to equip when crafting your customized whip, so build it tough. Hey look, a lime. Okay, that's enough. That's the end of this rhyme. It's dangerous to go alone, so join one of 10 different factions. From the legendary loot-hunting scavengers to the chaotic and destructive lunatics, you'll easily find a group of disgruntled and shifty mercenaries to call a family. What's that? You've already spent all of your money on rent and eggs? No problem at all, because Crossout's available on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox for the low price of free.
Oh, it's free.
So go ahead and use that cursor or finger of yours to hit that link in the description or pinned comment below to play today. Heck, out of pure desperation, I'll even throw in 3 days of premium access and 3 unique vehicles to all you PC players out there. Now that's an offer that's not gonna last forever, so get to downloading, you silly Billy. I gotta get back to it. My team needs me. Oh gosh, dang it.
Ante.
Right after the thrilling events of World War I in 1918, the Austro-Hungarian Empire had collapsed. With a little bit of elbow grease and the mashing together of various kingdoms and regions, a new political entity was formed. The state of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs. Home to many Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs. One of those kingdoms thrown in the mix was Croatia, the birthplace of this stern jug of juice, Ante Pavelic. His main personality trait was loving Croatia. God, he loved Croatia. So much so that he made a name for himself and rose through the ranks as a politician and representative in state parliament in order to demand Croatian independence. But this guy, Alexander I, had other ideas. Who's he? Well, he's the Prince Regent in these parts and the one who just got done unifying all of these kingdoms and states. Years and years of political turmoil ensued, which is honestly to be expected when you force a bunch of different political regions together into singularity. In 1929, now King Alexander had hit a boiling point. In order to regain order, he dismantled and banned all political parties, declaring royal dictatorship. He even came up with a new name for his kingdom, Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia. But since Yugoslavia is not Croatia, Pavelić had it. He fled the kingdom and conspired with revolutionary groups to undermine the rule of
More like Slavia.
Yugoslavia, who responded, "Do you want a death sentence? 'Cause that's how you get a death sentence." And so Pavelić got a death sentence. He was exiled to Germany, but since he didn't feel like dying quite yet, he instead skedaddled off to seek asylum in Italy. There, he used his political influence and persuasive stern look to form the Ustasha, a Croatian nationalist movement aimed at achieving Croatian independence by any means necessary. And you can bet your fat tits that means bombings, assassinations, and uprisings. During said uprisings, King Alexander regrettably stated,
If you want a regime change, you need to kill me.
They did.
And then they were like, bet.
On October 9th,
God.
1934, King Alexander I was assassinated by Ustasha member Vlado Chernozemski using a handgun hidden in a bouquet of flowers. Still living in Italy, Pavelić, along with several accomplices, were determined to be culpable for the assassination and were sentenced to death by Yugoslavia's friend France, who pressured Italy to carry out the deed. And Italy was all, "Linguini fettuccini, we ask a Mussolini." Thanks to his political privileges, Pavelić was only put under house arrest for 18 months. That'll teach him.
That's it? Okay.
Right, France?
No.
Oh,
that's
here we
not
go.
It.
Looks like Germany's back at it again, and the world collectively Versailles in disappointment. After the invasion of France in 1940, Nazi Germany invaded Yugoslavia in 1941. This ultimately resulted in Pavelić being installed as dictator to a newly independent Croatia. The mean mustache himself even met with Pavelić and gave some pointers in the art of ethnic cleansing. The only art he ever saw any success in. But Pavelić would soon put this advice into action. During World War II, Pavelić had created his own network of concentration camps run by his beloved Ustasha, one of which being the Sisak concentration camp, the only known camp specifically designed for children.
What do you mean it's specifically designed for children? I mean, like, in general, these camps are fucking horrible, but you are sick enough to make one specifically for kids?
Camps carried out the collection and mass murder of nearly 400,000 Serbs, Jews, and Romani, with an additional 300,000 either exiled or forcibly converted to Eastern Orthodox Christianity. All for the sake of Croatian ethnic homogeneity. Towns were completely
crazy. Why do we not know about this? Or why do I not know about this?
Villages were outright destroyed, and hundreds of thousands of innocent lives were lost. These actions gave the Ustasha notoriety that struck fear into the hearts of anyone who dared cross their path. Nazi Army General Edmund Gleiser-Hochtenau witnessed firsthand the atrocity of Pavelić and the Ustasha, saying, quote, "Our troops have to be mute witnesses of such events. It does not reflect well on their otherwise high reputation. The Ustasha have gone raging mad." That's pretty telling when even a Nazi general thinks you're being a bad dude. After the Axis powers fell, Pavelić got the hell out of Dodge, eventually fleeing to Argentina in 1948. But then some other surviving Ustasha members arrived. After a quick reunion of high fives and smooches, the gang wasted no time in forming the Croatian Liberation Movement. Persistent little buggers, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were basically trying to control this from over here. It didn't work. After
Yeah,
an
I was about to ask, how did that work out? Guns don't kill people, I do.
assassination attempt in 1957, Pavelić hightailed it out of Argentina, eventually ending up in Spain, where he died of his injuries 2 years later.
Idi Amin.
This is Idi Amin, regarded as one of the cruelest dictators in Ugandan history. He had humble beginnings back in 1946, where he served in the colonial army as a cook's assistant.
Congratulations! You have completed Cook's Assistant. You're awarded 1 quest point, 300 cooking XP. 2 of the quest points on.
In addition to cooking up a good steak, Amin was raring to have a job well done in his military career, so he speed ran through promotions within the Ugandan army, making it all the way up to captain in 1962.
I'm the captain now.
That's a crazy run from cooking assistant to captain in the military, huh?
This impressive progress received recognition from Ugandan Prime Minister Milton Obote, and a friendship formed. Hey. Hi. One that would be fruitful in many shady activities, including ivory and gold smuggling. After being threatened with investigation by the Ugandan parliament, Obote overthrew King President Person Mutesa II and seized the position for himself in 1966. The ex-king was exiled to the UK, where he lamented over the loss of his country, ultimately drinking himself to death just 3 years later.
Poor little guy.
After the coup, Obote promoted a now more rotund Amin to commander of the Ugandan army. But all good times must come to an end. Obote himself was a terrible ruler. His regime was plagued with corruption and terror, resulting in nationwide starvation and cruelties toward the Ugandan people. Not surprisingly, Obote had experienced a failed assassination attempt where he was shot through the teeth and out his cheek. The assassin missed, and Obote is pissed, so in response he had any and all political parties banned, with their members jailed for life. Meanwhile, Amin was in the corner doing his own thing, building up his beloved military for less than necessary
Playing with toy soldiers.
Fighting in neighboring wars. Obote didn't like that, and Amin didn't like that Obote didn't like that, so they began not liking each other. As a personal bitch slap, Obote had stripped Amin of his freshly granted commanding privileges and threatened him with jail time for misappropriating military funds. But this only activated Amin's trap card, prompting a takeover of the Ugandan government while Obote was out and about doing president things. The Ugandan people, having just gone through years of suffering under Obote's regime, were pretty thrilled and cheered Amin's efforts. Now in control in 1971, Amin declared that the military would temporarily run the government until new elections could be run. He even promised to free all political prisoners.
Let me guess, it wasn't temporary.
But he never did. In reality, he flew too close to the sun, taking comfort in its warmth. Just a week later, Amin declared himself President of Uganda, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Ugandan Army Chief of Staff, and Chief of Air Staff. The ego's starting to take over a bit. With this uncontested power, Amin began systematic executions of anyone who, he believed, would oppose his rule. Roughly 15,000...
So, but wait, he believed, so there isn't even any proof that they would even do something like that, and if he just thinks like, oh, you would be someone that would do that, he would just kill you without any questions.
Civilians had disappeared, now believed to have been kidnapped and given front tickets to Amin's newly constructed state-of-the-art torture facility.
Welcome to Idi Amin's armory that was constructed by the Israelis in the early 1970s, but later turned into torture chamber where thousands of Ugandans lost their lives.
However, this failed to slake Amin's thirst for blood. He soon expanded his list of victims to various groups throughout the country. We're talking artists, journalists, lawyers, students, senior members of government, foreign nationals, anyone who had even the most infinitesimally small tie to Obote. There were even rumors of Amin being a cannibal.
I mean, all of these people are fucking sick.
At least having tasted human meat, though it seems like he rated it 1 star as it was, quote, too salty for him. Human rights organizations estimate that between 300,000 to 500,000 people were slain under Amin's tyrannical rule. Known as the Butcher of Africa, Idi Amin not only murdered his own people, but devastated the Ugandan economy as well. He had expelled around 80,000 business owners and seized their property. So Amin walked up to an African stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum, get out of here or I'll kill you."
You're supposed to ask for grapes! No!
Then he waddled away.
Waddle.
These businesses, which were basically the country's economic backbone, were handed off to his inner circle. And they all quickly went bankrupt from mismanagement. Edie? More like idiot. Anyway. The businesses accounted for about 90% of the government's tax revenue, so government funds went poof. Yeah, just like that. Amin became blinded with power, so much so that he was unable to see the inevitable brick wall that the country was heading towards. His closest cabinet members, realizing that murdering everyone and crippling an economy aren't really the best long-term policies, started to defect, abandoning Uganda to seek safety elsewhere. Amin even began losing control over his own military. Coups and mutinies were commonplace as officers fought for power. But he had a plan. I have a plan. We're gonna take Tanzania. Alley-oop. He's just not as funny as oversimplified. Uh-oh. Tanzania fought back. hard.
I wanted
In
to
order
hear them
save
argue
face,
about that,
the
though.
former 10-time Ugandan light heavyweight champion Amin had a plan. I have a plan. Yeah, Amin actually suggested a boots to asses 1v1 super,
Why does he draw his nipples like that? I keep looking at it.
but the Tanzanian president had a plan of his own. In the end, Amin was deposed and fled in exile, where he apparently ate up to 40 oranges a day until his death in 2003.
Why the f was he eating the many oranges?
Our last stop is definitely no picnic. Now, if this video wasn't satisfying enough, I do have more of these little evil bastards for another video. So if you want me to make it,
Non-subscribers, you better be subscribed.
let me know in the comments. While you're at it, let me know who you would want me to cover. For our last entry, we'll be taking a trip down to Colombia. Now, any of you Colombians out there might be familiar with this guy, but for those of us who don't put cheese in our hot chocolate, let me introduce you to
Is that a thing in Colombia, putting cheese in hot chocolate?
Luis Garavito, perhaps one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. This guy was a straight-up monster. Appropriately nicknamed La Bestia, or The Beast, Garavito was arrested in
Why
1999
does it sound so pretty though? La Bestia.
and convicted of murdering 193 children. Garavito's crimes began when he was just 15 in
You're a sick f and a coward. Only killing children, huh? What the f?
1972. He had reportedly suffered severe depression, psychosis, and paranoia, allegedly stemming from an extremely abusive and traumatic childhood at the hand of his father. Pairing all that mental anguish with crippling alcoholism and an aggressive personality, Garavito began compulsively
I don't like the background sound that you're hearing right now. It makes me feel creeped out.
forcing himself on young children. Disgusted by his own actions, he had attempted to seek help, attending church sermons, AA meetings, and even seeing psychiatrists.
Tell that temple.
AA meetings,
Uh-huh, right.
even seeing psychiatrists, wanting nothing more than to live a normal.
Only good thing that he tried to do, but it didn't work out.
But he was never able to claw himself out of the dark hole that he was in. Look, there's no denying that childhood trauma is tragic, but when you commit unspeakable acts of violence against innocent children, or really anyone for that matter, sympathy kind of goes out the window.
Yep.
Being a victim's one thing, creating victims is another. Moving into the 80s, Garavito's
Like, you always hear like these background stories, and I do think, okay, that's like a really shitty childhood, but it doesn't excuse anything at all. Doesn't excuse anything at all. Doesn't make what you did any less worse. It's horrible what you did, no matter what your childhood was like.
He emphasized that his urges to act out were constant and, according to him, uncontrollable. He would impulsively assault homeless children, and to make matters worse, began carrying razor blades and lighters to satiate his growing lust for violence. After each outburst and eventually regaining his composure, Garavito claimed that he would be overwhelmed with guilt. He would write down the names of his
Oh yeah, you're so overwhelmed with guilt that you did it like 193 times. Sure, buddy.
victims in a notebook and pray for their safety.
Yeah.
At this point,
Their safety while they're dead. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's gonna do something.
his victim count had crossed above 100. Devastated by his supposedly uncontrollable impulses, he desperately tried to find any answers as to why he was the way he was. He looked to religion, astrology, the occult, really anything that could potentially bring him some revelation. But during this little literary leap, he had stumbled upon a certain notorious autobiography. With each turn of the page, Garavito really started relating to this Adolf guy. I mean, they both suffered abusive childhoods, lived in poverty, are both complete dickholes, you know, that kind of stuff. Luis even went a bit further and began idolizing one Campo Delgado, a Colombian serial killer who had publicly murdered 28 people, including his own mother, in the 1980s. More specifically, he admired the national attention that Delgado received and wanted to experience that firsthand. Now, the 1990s is where Garavito really went off the rails. He was now apathetic in his crimes. He felt nothing. No remorse, no sorrow, nothing. With all emotional ties,
He said like when he reached 100 or whatever, right? When he still felt things, that he felt super guilty that he's doing this, right? And he wanted answers to know why he's doing the things that he does, right? I feel like if you really felt like that, if that's really what you think and how you feel about it, then why are you not handing yourself over to the police? If that's truly how you feel and you really find it really, and you feel really, really fucking guilty that you did it, then you would have gone to the police, man. Who are you kidding?
Garavito's actions hit an apex. Across this decade, Luis committed the mass murder and assault of hundreds of children. In disguise, he lured victims into secluded areas in broad daylight where they were assaulted, stabbed, cut, burned, beaten, eviscerated, and dismembered. After their passing, the victims were often placed in dozens of mass graves scattered across the countryside, with some containing as many
That's really
as 40
disgusting.
bodies. Now, you can't really hide violence of that caliber for long, so eventually the graves were discovered in 1998, and an official investigation was launched. Because of his continued alcoholism, Garavito's work was sloppy. He would often leave articles of clothing, empty liquor bottles, and various belongings at his crime
Oh,
scenes.
thank God,
Honestly,
he's
it's kind of weird that
stupid.
it took so long to get caught, but the mountains of evidence did eventually lead to his arrest in 1999. While being interrogated, Garavito confessed to the murder of hundreds of children. Now, of course, in order to prevent the large, sandpapery, unlubed fist of YouTube from giving my butthole an identical neighbor, I of course cannot go into the nitty-gritty of the crimes. You morbidly curious little deviants would have to look that up for yourselves. But don't say I didn't warn you. In the end, Garavito's crimes rightfully warranted a sentence of up to 1,853 years and 9 days in prison. That's pretty great. Except for the
Fucking
fact that
9
Colombian
days.
law at the time prevented any sentence from being longer than 40 years.
No!
And get this, since he had given a full confession and even helped investigators find the bodies, his sentence was further reduced down to just 22
Are they
years.
fucking
Colombian
crazy?
population
193 kids murdered, and you give him 22 years. What?
was pissed. But luckily
I
in
would be too.
2021, Garavito's parole was personally denied by
Oh,
the
thank
Colombian
God.
president, who
Good.
vowed that he would never be a free man again. And he
Good.
never was.
Good.
Luis Garavito was diagnosed with eye cancer and died in prison in 2023. That video was a real doozy, wasn't it? Looks like you need to clean your mind of all this negativity. So go ahead and click the link below to play Crossout. It's free. These bonuses are free.
That actually surprised me so much.
Just play it. It's fun. Okay. If you do want to dive deeper down the rabbit hole of other horrors humanity has wrought throughout history, check out these videos. I'll see you over there.
Bye.
Hi! If you liked the video, please make sure that you like it and subscribe to my channel and turn on notification bell if you want to see more of it. I also go live on Twitch and on this YouTube channel, so come join us sometimes. Bye!